like to see I'm going to get the audible of that list. Let's talk some Dallas Cowboys trying to extend their win streak to 6 games now Sunday. There it is. Sunday night, that's in Minnesota. A couple of big questions still looming around quarterback Dak Prescott's availability. Namely, will he be available? This is just one question. Still fighting off that calf strain from the last play in Week 6. Dak talked yesterday about where he is in his recovery. Take a listen.
Obviously, you guys know me, been around and watch me go. I tell you right now, I'd go play today if I could. So knowing that this is a long journey and a long season, I don't necessarily know if this is fully my decision, but I'm going to just keep controlling the things I can, get better. I've gotten better each and every day, and that's what's most important. So I'm just focused on doing that again tomorrow. If it was my call and it was totally up to me, yes, but this is something I agree with the experts. I don't want to linger. I don't want this to be week after week. Are we going through this? So to me, it's just about getting better, controlling what I can. And like I said, I've gotten better and taking big steps every day, and plan to take another big step tomorrow. And so I don't know if the decision comes Saturday or when it comes, but yeah, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I give myself the best chance.
Nick, big year for the Cowboys. It's an easy year with this division. They could really use Dak. Any chance the Cowboys can win if he does not suit up Sunday night?
Well, I think right now, it was Dallas favored by 2.5. Now Dallas is a 2.5-point dog, and I think that is Vegas somewhat hedging their bets, if you will, because if Dak is ruled out, I think the Vikings will move up to 4, maybe even 4.5-point favorites because of the Cowboys' backup quarterback situation. So you can win as a 4.5-point underdog, but the problem for Dallas is this. Their defense has been living off the splash plays. We know that, most notably by Trayvon Diggs forcing the turnovers. The Vikings offense presents a lot of problems. They were able to run the ball without Dalvin Cook. They're excellent running the ball with Dalvin Cook. They lost Diggs, obviously, 2 years ago. Justin Jefferson steps in. He's not as good as Diggs, but damn near as good as Diggs. And Adam Thielen's as consistent of a receiver as we have in the league. So unless Kirk Cousins just melts down, that offense can move the ball. The Vikings are a confusing team because they're 3-3, and you might be like, well, they played 3 bad teams and beat them. They played 3 good teams and lost all 3 of them. However, the way they lost those games, Week 1, overtime Cincinnati, Week 2, gacked 37-yard field goal to Arizona, and a 14-7 loss to Cleveland where their defense played outstanding. So the Vikings probably a little better than their record suggests. But I want to go to wilds on this because the Cowboys, with their running core, with the defense playing the way it is, with the weapons on offense, one would say, oh, yeah, you should be able to survive a game without Dak. But not when you packed the car for a road trip and it's like, oh, my God, I forgot the phone chargers. They forgot to roster a backup quarterback, and I don't understand it.
That seems odd.
And so and especially when Dak came into the year hurt. So if they had just a league average backup quarterback, I'd say, okay, yeah, they can survive for a week. But Cooper Rush, while he's thrown 3 passes in his life in the NFL, he's been in the NFL 5 years.
Not great.
So, yeah, if Dak's out, there's no way I'm picking Cooper Rush to get a win against a decent NFL team. I just can't do it.
Well, I'm going to throw it back to you real quick. If Cam Newton was rostered on this team, would you take Cam Newton? Would you think that the Cowboys would beat the Vikings if Cam came in after the Patriots released him? To me, that's the most obvious backup that he's a big star, and he talked about his aura kind of being overwhelming. It's a nice spot for him, and it also follows exactly what Dallas did last year. You had a veteran quarterback who could move the ball, who wasn't as good as your starting quarterback in case anything happened to Dak. And then they kind of just threw that in the trash and went with Cooper Rush. And I hope Cooper Rush does well. I hope everybody does well. But when you have Dak out there, excuse me, when you have Cam out there, to me that seemed like the obvious pick, and now it's kind of rearing their head where it's like, oh, Cam is still on the sidelines, so like, why didn't we sign him? Now we're going to sign Cooper Rush and lose to the Vikings. Why don't you think they signed Cam?
Yes. Yeah, well, I think initially it was because of the vaccination stuff, and I know Cam has now come out and said, I got vaccinated, but that it might be a little too late for this season for some teams, feeling like, we've got our quarterback room settled, we've got our roster settled. But Broussard, it's not like Cam was the only guy available. Gardner Minshew was, obviously available. Trade him for a song. Nick Foles, one would argue, who's third string in Chicago, would have been available. Again, these aren't great options. But Cooper Rush in his 5th season, he's thrown 3 passes. And so I don't understand why the Cowboys, when they knew Dak was coming into the year off an injury, just totally neglected this spot, and it might bite them. Because if Dak, here's the concern, Broussard, they're off a bye. And we're now, 48, 60 hours from the game, and Dak doesn't know if he's playing. That, to me, tells me if he didn't get ready in the last 12 days, he's going to get ready in the next 60 hours. I don't know. I'm doubtful.
Yeah, he doesn't sound like he's playing at all. You heard his clip. You compare his clip to what Baker Mayfield's saying, and you see there's a stark difference. Plus, Mayfield's been doing more in practice than Dak has. I'm with you guys on the quarterback. And Nick, I do think, look, Foles or Minshew, they are great options for a backup. That's the thing. It's a backup.
Yes.
So those are great options for a backup. And I think, I think some of us called for them to go ahead and sign Cam. The Cowboys were one of the few teams, because of Dak, where Cam's aura would not have been a problem.
Yeah.
There are only a handful of them, right? And they were one of them. So, yeah, this could come back to bite them. Look, on paper, they do have the formula. And I agree, Nick, you heard me say it yesterday, with everything you said about the Vikings, right? The Vikings are a sneaky good team. They could be 4-2, 5-1 even, with some of these victories over good teams if they had come to pass. So I'm with you on Minnesota winning this game. But on paper, you look at Dallas and you say, okay, they need a game plan similar to what Green Bay did last night. Run the ball a lot. And obviously they've got one of the best running games in the league. Run the ball, keep Cousins and company off the field. Here's the only problem with that. At some point, you're going to have to throw the football to keep the defense honest. I mean, Rodgers threw it, I think, 37 times last night. 37 times. Right. So they did throw it. They just dinked and dunked. Is Cooper Rush even capable of dinking and dunking for 25 times? And so I just don't see them being able to win this game. And I actually was looking at this as my upset alert, even with Dak playing, because I have that much belief in Minnesota. And at some point, Dallas is going to lose again. But then they flipped it, and now Dallas, of course, is not favored. So I do think Minnesota wins this game going away.
And every inch matters when you're playing for the stakes the Cowboys are. The Cowboys are playing this year to get the 1 seed and to potentially win the Super Bowl. And think back to last year's Chiefs for a moment, or the year before Chiefs.
Exactly.
Each season, the season they won the Super Bowl and got to the Super Bowl, there were spots where a backup quarterback had to come in, either for a couple of games. Hell, the year they won the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, you know who the backup quarterback came in and beat? The Minnesota Vikings, a good Vikings team. Last year in the playoffs, anything is possible. And so even if you don't expect Dak to miss significant time, if he misses a quarter of a playoff game, that can be it if Cooper Rush is your backup. And I feel badly that we're killing Cooper Rush, but he's thrown 3 passes in the NFL. And you've got a team. Look at what the Jets did, Jenna. The Jets, they're like, oh, we're without our quarterback? We'll bring in Joe Flacco. And again, Flacco's not good, but at least you don't feel like you're drawing dead. Now, I know Flacco's not starting for the Jets this week, and Zach Wilson's going to be out longer than Dak's going to be out. But still, it is to me very, very odd that a team that is going to be clawing for the 1 seed, that is trying to win a Super Bowl, didn't pay attention to an obvious hole on the roster.
They did last year. Right now, somewhere Andy Dalton's like,